Welcome to Mortified, the Friendship Quest, a podcast where two long-distance friends bounce media recommendations, all in hopes the other will like it. I'm Aaron.
And I'm easily pandered to.
And this week, we celebrate Gamer Christmas with a Summer Game Fest Highlights Pod. Before we describe the transcendent experience of watching ads, remember you can help us on Mortified, the Legitimacy Quest by smashing that like and subscribe on YouTube, leaving us a review on the podcast platform of your choice, or just telling a friend about the show. Leyla.
Aaron.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. I don't have like the rest of a parody, but that's it. It's Summer Game Fest just wrapped up. It is the Thursday after SGF 2026 as we're recording this, and we love this time of year, I think.
Yeah, I think it is good that there's a lot of fun indie showcases. Obviously, Jeff Keighley and his enterprises are not without issue, but I work in the games industry, so when we talk about video games, we usually have to err on the positive. So today I'm going to say thank you, Jeffrey, for showing me games and ads.
Listen,
offering me demos.
I've been watching E3, since I started again regularly in 2015, but I'd been doing that even before then. But I have a distinct memory of the summer of 2018 when I had my first summer off as a school nurse, and I ordered a 18 pack of Bud Light, and I just cracked them open and watched the E3 showcases. And I remember because that's when they showed Kingdom Hearts 4 footage for the first time, like furiously, half drunk tweeting at you, being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's happening."
It truly, Kingdom Hearts. We'll circle back to this, but Kingdom Hearts announcements are the best time on the internet because every person who you think is respectable, who is serious professional in some field, comes crawling out of the fucking woodwork as a Kingdom Hearts fan. It's really good. We'll circle back.
Yeah, we'll try not to talk too much about them, but there was a little bit of Kingdom Hearts news.
We'll talk about how we found out, which was in a very funny way.
Yeah, we actually did this sort of thing 2 years ago. If you remember our Mountain Dew flight episode, we are not drinking Mountain Dew this time again, which I think we're both grateful for. A lot has happened to our stomachs in 2 years. But yeah, we just love doing this. So, and also briefly, if you're a regular listener, you might be wondering, where's our episode on Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters?
Well, funny story. We record on every other Sunday, right? On the off weeks of episodes releasing, that's when we're recording. And we got together, and I wish I could explain the percentage of that recording that is just silence, because we're just sitting there thinking of things to say, which is not good. So, hey, Aaron, fine movie.
It was a lot of fun. There's some stuff in it that's maybe objectionable, but on the whole, I think it achieved what it wanted to be, which was dumb action.
Correct. And I think the important takeaway was that we neglected in our kind of era retrospective, we talked about having Hunger Games likes and Twilight likes, and in that episode, that shall never be heard because it was never completed, Aaron very wisely pointed out that we forgot about kind of the Marvelification of cinema also. So this Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters very much falls into Marvel likes. But yeah, troubled gender politics of the era aside, fun 82 minutes, not counting credits of action, goofs and gags.
I think this is the biggest thing that you could, if you're a creative, that you should take away from that movie is make it short. If you think your thing is going to be bad, cut down the runtime a little bit, and it might actually be pretty good.
I think I could have gotten to a tight 79 minutes with a different male lead because Jeremy Renner is a slow deliverer. He really chews lines sometimes.
Anyway, we'll be posting our full review on the Jeremy Renner app, so you gotta better go grab that from the App Store, and you can. We're doing our brand partnership with him, so you can get the Mortified / Jeremy Renner merch there.
Is it still? Hold on.
God,
No, we're doing this in real stuff. We're doing this in real time.
I hope so.
The Jeremy Renner app.
Please.
I regret to report.
No.
The Jeremy Renner app. He can no longer be referred to as the guy with the app. I guess guy formerly with the app now.
Da 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 da. I'm playing taps. Well, in memory of the Jeremy Renner app, we are now going to do the thing that Jeremy Renner loved most, which is talking about the Summer Games Fest. I don't know if he actually cares about that. Yeah.
Other than the licensing check that comes to him for his likeness in whatever Marvel game, probably not.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, so me and Leyla have brought a series of games that caught our eye during the showcase, and we're going to talk about them because I think they're neat, and basically, I think you should keep an eye out for them. Y'all know my taste. Maybe not all the ones that I'm going to recommend you should put on your wish list, but some of them I think are actually genuinely good, and we'll talk about them. Leyla, do you want to go first?
Oh, sure. So I tried my best to bring indie titles. One AAA did sneak in, for good reason. But, my first game is Stamperor, the Jester's Decree. Now, I am hashtag serious gamer. I like serious games with serious narrative. It's actually quite rare that I play anything that's like for funsies. But Stamperor really tickled me because it's a game about paperwork, and I love paperwork. Ooh, girl, I love paperwork. And by making the paperwork silly, I think it will free me to be mean and to be cruel and to not try to get the best outcome, but to get the funniest outcome. Which I think is good relief for me. I always tell people if they really want to get to know me, come with me to a hockey game, because all of my kind of hedging and nuance goes away and I become pure id in a hockey rink. And I think perhaps Jester or Stamperor, the Jester's Decree, will get a similar reaction out of me.
Yeah, I tried to watch all the trailers that you recommended, and I was just like, oh, this is not evil Papers, Please. This is silly Papers, Please. And I think this is a really fun kind of game, which is like, oh, you're in a position of authority and you're making, choices that make various meters go up and down. And depending on how you respond to them, events will proc or, something will generate and cause you to respond to that. There's another game called, I want to say it's like King of the Castle. That is a very similar one to this, which is like you and your friends have to respond and make choices. And I just kind of like these kind of games where he's generating a narrative by your choices. Really neat looking game. This is from the developer. Oh, I'm scrolling on the Steam. Moonmind Studio. So keep an eye out for this one.
Mm-hmm. And there is a demo available. I think I have about 8 demos bookmarked. Last time SGF happened, I did a little write-up of all the demos I played. I am hoping to do that while I'm on vacation again this year. So,
hell yeah, keep an eye out for that. I'm going to talk about the first thing that I have on my list is Vampire the Masquerade Eternal Whispers. So y'all, if you know me, you know that I am kind of a tabletop RPG enthusiast. Vampire the Masquerade has been a long-running, really popular tabletop RPG series. I believe came out in 91, the first Vampire the Masquerade. And because I am a bit of an RPG snob, I have never gotten into any of these World of Darkness titles. There is something about the history. I mean, if you've seen people doing vampire LARPs out, in the park or at your college campus, they're probably doing a form of World of Darkness campaign. And God bless them. They're braver than the Marines. But there is something about that style of deeply embodied LARP, especially in the ways that Vampire has historically encouraged you to bleed, which is, it just kind of turns me off. There's a lot of blood magic also going on, specifically not necessarily racial, but definitely can be read as racial in the World of Darkness series. So that's all the stuff that's kind of turned me off to Vampire the Masquerade. But as of recently, Dimension 20 has been doing a Vampire the Masquerade series, City Council of Darkness, which me and my wife have been watching, and I've been really enjoying. And now with this new Vampire the Masquerade Eternal Whispers, I'm really excited. This is very much like a like a CRPG, like an isometric CRPG. Thinking of course, Disco Elysium is kind of the big one because it's got the sidebar on the right side, like choose your responses. But you can think of Baldur's Gate. You can think of the 40K Rogue Trader, right? It's very much in that style. And I actually I couldn't say that me and Kiana Shaw are like besties, but I'm acquainted with Kiana Shaw, which is one of the writers for this game. I think they do great work, and I'm just really excited to I think this could be a way that I'm like, oh, okay, this will be a way for me to get into what VTM is doing. So I'm really interested in this game, and I have high hopes for it. But yeah, I don't know if you check this out at all, Leyla.
I did. I took a look when it came up in our group chat, and I'm also very interested in it because I love vampire shit, and I also love an isometric RPG. So it went on my wish list.
100%. Do you want to go talk about Heaven Crawler next?
I would love to talk about Heaven Crawler. So Heaven Crawler is... it reminds me... The reason it caught my attention is because it reminds me of, Eco a little bit. I could not play Ico because it is so under tutorialized. It just drops you in, and I started bashing my head against the wall, got frustrated, and never picked it up again. But stylistically, I really like it, and stylistically, I also really like Shadow of the Colossus, and it's really reminding me visually of that. There's a little bit of mystery because you have to scale to the top of the tower and you have to figure out what the tower is for. But otherwise, you play this little guy in a kind of spider mech suit, and you fight stuff, and there's environment for you to interact with and inventory for you to use. And that's just extremely my shit. You give me a character, give me a little mystery to solve. It's got charming art style. I'm all over it. So I'm super excited for Heaven Crawler. I believe it's being maybe kickstarted. So I will be looking for that later because I would love to kickstart that.
Yeah, 100%.
A quick entry for me, but it's charming PS2 fighting game. It's great.
Yes, I agree. I'm really charmed by this trailer. This is by Carbon Machina, and yes, it is being kickstarted if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, there's this the spider mech suit is such a fun aesthetic. I should also mention it's a roguelike, right? So this is a run based presumably game where you're all doing semi Souls dungeon crawly type raids where you'll get different abilities, which I think is really exciting. I think this is a really neat looking game with a neat premise. So shout outs.
Correct. And this is one of the ones... it's for the Carbon Machina is a Mexican developer. This is one of the ones that came out of the Latin American Games Showcase. If you're going to watch any of the non-big developer, non-main stage showcases, and I actually would argue you should watch these instead of some of the main stage showcases. Latin American Games Showcase and India Games Showcase fucked supremely. Bangers in those showcases up and down. So highly recommend going back and watching those.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to shout out Into the Wind. Have you ever seen Porco Rosso, Leyla?
Yeah, love Porco Rosso. One of my favorite Ghibli films. I
don't know that to this date I've ever finished a Ghibli film, to my great shame. One time we tried to watch Howl's Moving Castle once.
In front of my fucking salad, you say that?
We tried to watch Howl's Moving Castle once, and I took an edible that had 10 mgs of THC in it, and I thought I was going to die. Me and Leyla have this in common, is that we cannot handle our weed. So I didn't quite finish Howl's. But yeah, I know only what I know about Porco Rosso from memes, but this game Into the Wind looks very much like that. You are a little redheaded guy who lives in like a coastal village, and you are like, it's hard to tell, right? There's it's an action adventure game, but they also tag it as exploration and flight. In the trailer, you're like getting a letter from your uncle that's like, hey, you know, come find me into the wind or whatever. But like there's like a little seaside village that you are doing chores around. There's a lot of delivery shit, which I think is cute. There's a bit where your living bike rolls up. His name is Hermes, like Hermes, but you know, in Italianized, so it's Hermes. But he, the uncle's like, oh, your bike misses you very much because the bike is alive. It's really cute. The art style again in that Ghibli, right? Again, I think there's a lot of, you know, you can rightfully criticize using the Ghibli art style, and I think, you know, I wouldn't you know, disagree with probably any of those criticisms, but you do this, you give me like a little flying bike that's also like a kind of like you know, dog fighting simulator. I think that's really interesting. Dog fighting is going to be a theme here in my my selections here. But I'm really excited for Into the Wind. I think it looks so cool, like a open world exploration type game. There's a bit in the trailer where you like have a swordfish tied onto your bike, which I think is really fun. But yeah, I don't know. I'm so excited and interested in what this, you know, game could be. Like, is this the version of Death Stranding that's for me? I kind of hope so.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer muted right now. I can't believe I missed this. This looks so charming. I have also wishlisted it. It's very, very good. I love Porco Rosso. I think Porco Rosso, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, I think are deeply underrated Ghibli films. Everyone loves Howl's Moving Castle. Don't get me wrong. I love Howl's Moving Castle. I also love Spirited Away. Nausicaa, Porco Rosso, my girls. Anyway, my next title is Inkblood. So I'm a Slav. I was born in Russia, you know, and so anytime anything has like a fun, folksy Slavic art style, it immediately catches my attention. There were a couple of games in this vein at the Direct. I think the other one was like the devil needs a job or something. There's like a little devil, he had a job, and it was just a lot of like fart and poop humor, which, you know, God bless you if that's your thing. It's not my thing. But Inkblood is like a little, first of all, the art is inspired by Ivan Bilibin, who is a prolific Russian folklore artist. If you have seen like Russian storybook drawings of like Baba Yaga and stuff, it is probably Ivan Bilibin or inspired by Ivan Bilibin. And this is like a fun little mystery game where you get to play, and I forget what the mystery is that you have to solve, but the art is very storybook-like, which I love, and it excited me because I will put up with a lot for cool visuals, even though mystery games are not like necessarily my thing, but yeah, it just looks really neat. I like the aesthetic a lot. I'm really excited about it. It's, you know, it's good stuff.
Yeah, when I was watching the video, one thing that the designers said about this game is that like every character is designed to look both like appealing but also hard to look at whenever they're on screen, like a little bit you know, disconcerting, which I think is really neat. It is giving me Pentiment, and I mean that in a very complimentary way.
Right, which is what I'm playing now, which is probably why I was very in the mood for this. By developer Hey Bird.
Shoutouts to Hey Bird, but yeah, Inkblood looks really cool. I am going to talk about Ace Combat 8: The Wings of Theve, perhaps the diametric opposite of Inkblood.
I knew.
Yeah.
I knew I could make you into an Ace Combat freak.
Have you ever played one of these games, Leyla?
No, buddy, it would make me so motion sick I would throw up.
Right, exactly. I didn't even fully watch this trailer. You know, this is a bad practice to do. You should not do this, but the Sony showcase was playing at the same time I was commuting from a city that's an hour away from where I live. So I was just kind of watching the showcase on my phone while I was driving, which you shouldn't do. That's bad. And I wasn't like watching it. I was listening to it, and it was like kind of visible in the corner of my eye. again, you should not do this. This is a bad thing to do. I'm a bad person for doing this. That said, when the Ace Combat 8 trailer started going, I was like, oh shit, hey, this sounds really stupid and military, and that's kind of the shit that rules for me. They make reference to something called a land battleship at one point. I was like, hey, what the fuck? And going back and fully watching it to prepare for this, I was like, oh yeah, that looks like a big fucking battleship that's driving across the city. That's great. There's a lot of bullshit about like the wings of the protector, the symbol that's going to give people the hope they need. And since this trailer has aired, I have beat Ace Combat 4, and I have started Ace Combat I want to say 7, and now I like know a decent amount about the history of this stupid world. And I will say these games are arcade. They're arcade, fighting sims, right? You play a pilot. You are driving, models of military planes that exist in our world. They just exist in this alternate Earth. The gameplay is very similar between the game from 2001 and the game from 2019, because you basically just fly around and bomb shit, and occasionally you fight fighter planes, and it's really fun and easy, and they really suck your dick in a big way in the dialogue. They're like, oh wow, there's this one pilot who seems to be beating all the other pilots. He's rising through the ranks so highly, nobody can stop it. I'm just like, yeah, that's fucking right. Me on my easy mode, infinite ammo. Like, yeah, I am the fucking ace pilot of Theve or fucking whatever. I'm gonna bring Usia to its knees by becoming the best penal combat soldier. There's in Ace Combat 7, spoilers for this game. You accidentally shoot down the former president, and they put you in a prison battalion where they give prisoners fighter jets, and they tell you to go, fight in fighter jets, which seems bad. It seems like maybe you shouldn't give your prisoners fighter jets and missiles.
That is so stupid.
It's awesome.
Will say you are missing the most important thing that you showed me today, which was a dog.
Oh yeah, there's a cutscene where there is like the princess of one country meeting like some NPCs, and the way that they introduced this was like the princess, fully animated model, that's fine. She comes out and you hear the sound of a dog barking. And then, she comes out and she's talking to these two other girls, and next to her is just a flat image of a dog, just a JPEG. And I was like, if you don't have the fucking time to model an asset, I get it. Just play the soundbite and stick the JPEG in there. That's my YouTube career, baby. I get it.
Aaron just sent me this screenshot, no context. It was like, does anything look funny about this dog to you? And I like zoomed out. I was like, not really. And then I really looked at the image. I was like, is that a JPEG? What's happening? I thought these people had money.
Clearly not. But anyway, Wings of Theve. The trailer makes it seem like it's slightly more character focused, which, it seems like they have like fully rendered characters. It seems like the player character has a body, which I would be surprised if is actually the case. But maybe they did. Maybe they're really making it an RPG and they're not sucking you, the player character's dick. But like, either way. Listen, either way, I'm really excited for this. Again, this is not a game I'm going to buy full price. Like, sorry, developers of Ace Combat 8 Wings of Theve. I will pick it up in 5 years for, $10 to $15 though, because they're a good time.
And that's the way you should go. I will be picking this game up full price, probably. Maybe. I don't know. I bought the rest of them on pretty steep sale. This is my one AAA entry into our lists. Much like Aaron has become a kind of Ace Combat guy, in the last couple of years, I have become a Resident Evil guy. Because here's the thing. Audience. I am a alumni of Silent Hill. I was a Silent Hill developer for a couple years. I worked on Silent Hill Ascension. Don't Google it.
You were briefly an influencer for that game as well.
If you look on YouTube, you can see me. I'm famous to 30 people, and I love them all. Listen, I thought that horror and Silent Hill and Resident Evil were these like self-serious properties with a lot of jump scares and a lot of gore or whatever, and that they weren't for me. And then I watch a lot
very
of John
special
Wolfe.
man.
Well, no. I watch a lot of John Wolfe playthroughs, and he did a run of Resident Evil a couple years ago, I think when 7 was announced. And I started watching him, and the more I watched them, the more I was like, oh, this shit is goofy. No one told me Resident Evil was funny. And it's so funny. And then naturally, he gets to Resident Evil 4, which is where I meet my very special boy. Where he stands in that field. And that bell rings. And he just goes, where's everybody going? Bingo? I'm not immune. That being said, I would like to apologize to a very, I'm sure, delightful and extremely horny contingent of Tumblr users. If my college roommate has reblogged your porn of Leon Scott Kennedy in the last month, I'm sorry, I've blocked you. It's not about you, it's about me. So and Tumblr tells you when you've been blocked. So if at some point you look at my Tumblr and you have been reblogging a lot of like Leon X Reader, I'm sorry. It's just my roommate reblogged you, you've been cursed. That's all it is. But anyway, Resident Evil Veronica, it's formerly known as Code Veronica, just Veronica now, is coming out. And the thing I would like to point out about the trailer is that the protagonist of Code Veronica, Claire Redfield, her brother Chris Redfield, is never escaping the boulder punching allegations. Aaron, are you aware of the boulder punching?
No, there was a line in this trailer that the
looks
old
like
French lady,
here.
her apartment's all messed up, and she's like, "Oh, it looks like a boulder rolled through here," and everybody in the comments is losing their shit. Layla, what's happening?
Yeah. So Chris Redfield in one of the Resident Evil, one of the early ones, he's like in a magma pit. I forget what the exact context is. He's in a fucking magma pit of some sort, and there's a boulder in his way, and the boulder is 3 or 4 times his size, and this man punches through. Like, you just have repeated QTEs to punch through this boulder.
Listen, boys, sometimes you had a long day, and you just have to go a quick time event on a boulder.
Hold on, I'm gonna find the clip. It's Resident Evil 5 where he does it. Okay.
Whoa. Wow. Wee. This wasn't even like a Dragon Ball Z, like, like he was just like doing straight gut punches on this fucking rock.
It looks like a boulder rolled through here, baby. Resident Evil is funny. It's a funny series. Everybody play Resident Evil, please. Anyway, I'm really excited about it.
Shout outs to Code Veronica. That's the Resident Evil franchise is sadly one that I only ever hear about through podcasts. But everybody who talks about these games seems to love them, even if they sometimes don't always hit. But it seems like this one is a fan favorite. So looking forward to
1 through
Code
4. Yes, 1 through 4 is great. Code Veronica is widely regarded as the real Resident Evil 3. 5 and 6 take a little, much like the Fasts and the Furiouses, there's a little bit of a dip in quality, right? This 5 and 6 dip in quality. However, 7 banger, Village banger, 9 apparently banger. I'll get to it. I haven't played it yet. It's next in my queue. But yeah, very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. To completely switch tracks, we're going to talk about a game called Ithaca, Ithaca: A Road Odyssey. This is from developer The Pixel Hunt. I believe this is also being crowdfunded on Kickstarter, but this is it's kind of a visual novel. It's kind of a visual novel, kind of a walking sim. But you are a environmental rights lawyer who is being blackmailed ? Into traveling with a kidnapped person in your trunk of your car. It's unclear, why, but like it seems like there's a really fascinating RPG system that they're going to be like giving you RPG options that are only dialogue based, because the whole game is just taking place in your car as you travel and like talk to people on the phone and do this road trip. your name is Penelope, right? So like obviously very clearly drawing on the Odyssey as an inspiration, but it seems fascinating and weird, and I am a sucker for games like this, which are like, half walking sim, half like dialogue interaction type beat. So really really excited for Ithaca.
Yeah, it looked really neat. Yeah, I don't know. End of thought. Do you have anything else on Ithaca?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So my final entry is a game from the India Games Showcase by Omnaya Studios, called Back in Time. And so I have said this, I think, on this show before. Not a big fan of time travel. However, this main character in this game appears to be going back to like every major disaster. We're talking Hitler. We're talking the nuke dropping. We are talking about Titanic sinking. And it is like a very colorful, very bright action-adventure platformer. And the thing that really caught my attention about it was two things. Well, there's something that caught my attention and something caught Aaron's attention that I could not focus on because I was focused on the nuke dropping. Which is, obviously everybody talks about what's the first thing, you get time travel, what's the first thing you're doing? You're killing Hitler, right? Mm-hmm. This character goes to kill Hitler in one shot, and then in a couple of shots later in the trailer, Hitler has a mech. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Why not? He's hanging out on the Titanic. And then Aaron caught at the very end that he also tries to prevent fucking COVID-19.
The quote from this character is, "So if I eat this bat meat, the entire world will stop." Cool.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. So I've been watching, I pretty much binged both seasons that are available of The Pit. And I was really impressed of how COVID haunts that narrative. Like there's a major character death that happened that haunts the narrative from COVID. COVID keeps coming up in conversation. They keep referring to the healthcare, how healthcare workers have to manage COVID. And so I'm glad that art is starting to reckon with it a little bit because I feel like for a while we just weren't able to, or we were doing kind of ham-fisted metaphors, and now we could just talk about it out in the open. So yeah, it just looks like a really fun, really stylish action platformer. It looks completely absurd. And as I was telling my friend Tori this morning when we were talking about Kingdom Hearts, I love nothing more than a game that makes me go, huh? But with flair.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really a 2D action platformer person, but I do admire the pluck of Omnaya Studios here. That's Omnaya Studios. For making such an ambitious and fun looking game. The art is really, really special. So I wish them the best of luck. Yeah, it seems cool.
Like I said, India Games Showcase. Shout outs.
My final game is a game from the developers of Arctic Eggs, which you might have heard about maybe last year or the year before, but it is called About Fishing. And at first, it seems like you are a person in a yellow raincoat who is walking around and doing pretty regular, this looks like PS1 era graphics fishing stuff. Pretty standard stuff, right? The trailer shows you catching a bluegill. And then you walk into your office and you go into your desk and you open up a box, and that box contains a pistol. And you're like, oh, so this is going to be slightly different than the regular fishing game. It looks like weird and creepy in a way that I am excited about. There's a bit where she's talking to somebody in the graveyard that's like, God, if you could still hear me praying. There's somebody who's like, I don't think she'll ever stop fishing, right? There's some sort of weird mystery that you have to solve. It seems, neat and strange in a way that I'm really excited for. I'm trying to pull up the dev.
It's from the Water Museum, and I think maybe just the Water Museum.
Published by Playstack, but yeah. Really, really interested to see how that goes. I'm a sucker for a fishing mini game. I didn't beat Dredge, but I loved Dredge 2 years ago. And basically, like any fishing mini game in an RPG is something that I will at least put an hour into because I fucking love fish. Weird thing about me. So I'm very excited for About Fishing. Leyla, we're about 38 minutes into the podcast. Do you think we could talk about Kingdom Hearts for a second?
So here's what happened. We have been all week so attentive to every showcase. We're generally in our friend group chat, we're like pretty good. Me and Aaron will at least watch most showcases, especially the big ones. So we watched the Sony one. That's usually where Kingdom Hearts news happens. We watched the fucking main show, and we didn't see it in either place. And we were like, well, honestly, not surprising. There's no news.
This is the fate of Kingdom Hearts fans, as we know games take roughly a decade to 2 decades to come out.
Precisely.
At some point, I was just
19 years between 2 and 3.
At a certain point when they announced the Final Fantasy VII game, I was like, this is kind of like Kingdom Hearts 4, right? Because Sephiroth was in Kingdom Hearts, so it's like we're getting Kingdom Hearts.
There was another one that was even dumber, where Tifa it was a fighting game where Tifa, I think it was Wuthering Winds, Tifa makes an appearance. Mm-hmm. And you were like, this is a Kingdom Hearts, Tifa's.
Tifa was in Kingdom Hearts.
It's just raw conjecture. Mm-hmm. And then, again, friend Tori, who has come up twice in this show, messages me during the Nintendo showcase, which she always watches because she's a slut for Nintendo and God love her. And she was telling me all about the Pocopia DLC, which is coming. There's an underwater DLC for Pocopia. And then she goes, this is what she says. Oh, now it's your turn. KH4. And I said, what?
What do you mean?
Like, new footage? And she goes, yeah, new trailer. I was like, what? And I went, and at first I found it, and it was just like the collections, right? 1.5, 2.5, 2.8. And I was like, oh, this is just ports. She goes, no. After that, there's a trailer. And lo and behold.
Yeah, there was.
There was a new fucking trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4, Aaron. Our boy has normal peats. Yeah,
his feet are a regular size. He is out here in Shibuya, Japan. He's in like an office building fighting fucking Darkseid. There is gameplay. I will say this trailer is 90 seconds long. A lot of it is like from a scene that was shown 4 years ago. The Sora Darkseid fight. The Luxord's there. There's some people from Dark Road there. Verum Rex. I think he has a different name, but I don't care what it is. There's stuff happening. I will say, it says that Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming at launch. Parentheses Nintendo Switch 2 does not give a launch date. Not
even a launch year.
Right? Yeah,
it's not even. It's like a ballpark.
It's not even 2027. It's not even 2028. It's just kind of like, you'll get it when you get it. And
now Donald Duck and Goofy were in the trailer, so we're not fully excising the Disney.
Right. I'm sure they will be a part of it. But I mean, I don't know, right? Real ones know that like the Disney is only the dressing, the set dressing. It helps. It definitely helps, right? To have dumbass Disney shit happening.
Depends on the world. Toy Story World. Mwah.
Toy Story World, pretty good. Frozen World, pretty bad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know, right? I will say I'm grateful, but like, I try not to care too much about Kingdom Hearts stuff like this because, like, it is kind of like it's been 4 years since we've had any news about Kingdom Hearts. They had to give us something, and
that's fucking nothing. Mm-hmm. That's nothing. We waited 19 years between mainline titles, and I'll fucking do it again.
I mean, we won't have a choice whether or not we get it when we get it. But this is the thing about Kingdom.
Will we buy it at, whatever inflation is going to bring AAA video games up to in 19 years? Will we buy it at $250 for the PlayStation 9?
The fuck we will is the problem, which is why they can keep getting away with doing this to us. But,
we're not good examples.
We're not. You shouldn't be like us. But yeah, I genuinely love this time of year. I know it's so silly to care about ads for video games, especially when the games industry is in such turmoil right now. But it has been a ritual for me since I was, in my 20s and even in my teens. I think it is just a special thing to get together and see people, show things for this art form that they're excited about, that they want you to be excited about, even though it is advertising. I just love E3/Summer Game Fest. Despite it all, it is a very important thing to me, and I am grateful that we can we live in a weird timeline where this is possible. So I'm really happy every time that we get to talk about games. This is sports to me. I know the World Cup's happening right now, but this is my Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I love E3. So rip, F's in the chat for E3, but Summer Games Fest is a lot of fun. I will again say, I think it's really sad. We're coming up on a year of me being laid off by Xbox on July 2nd. It'll have been a year. And for our 1-year anniversary, we got news of more Xbox layoffs, this time under Asha Sharma, which is just disappointing. And I think if, folks take anything away from this, is it's like, man, watch the other showcases. Watch all the indie shit. Like I said, LAGS, the Latin American Game Showcase in India, were incredibly strong this year. I'm looking forward to other showcases, having better years. I thought some of them were just okay. Or were featured, like the Australia one was great, but it featured titles that are just not really my thing, so I didn't get anything out of it. And, support indie devs. Make sure that, don't refund games, short games if you've only played 2 hours. Make sure you're supporting smaller creators and smaller companies. The other part of that is a lot of discoverability is word of mouth. So talk to your friends about games you like. Try to post nice things about games you like. Post screenshots. Have fun. Try to revive that kind of healthy fandom for titles, and I don't know, make online communities to do stuff like that. And I think the games industry will rise like a phoenix from the ashes. But as I keep talking to my colleagues and my friends about, is the question for the next phase of the games industry, as new titans rise and as new things kind of are birthed, is, did we learn the lesson? So yet to be seen. I look forward to doing this all over again in 20 years. But hopefully there's at least 10 of fun prosperity in between. In the meantime, I'm once again available for marriage prospects if you bring home more than a couple $1 million a year. Specifically looking to move to France. So if a French millionaire happens to listen to this podcast and you're looking for a wife, I'm extremely charming and very pretty. And I clean and I cook. And I come with a fat cat and a 3-legged dog.
What's a better dowry than that?
Precisely.
Yeah. If you thought we were interesting and cool, where else can we be found on the internet, Leyla?
At LEYLSES on Tumblr and Blue Sky. Mostly honestly, not really anywhere. I've really decreased my posting lately. I'm figuring out what I want to do in terms of personal projects. It has been an uphill struggle for several years. Don't worry about it. I'll get there. I've been watching The Pit. I don't know if you've heard. It's a good show. It actually, yes, I agree with the masses. It's a great show. And I have many thoughts about it with regards to video games because because the show is shot in real time, and it made me think about video game protagonists and how you spend anywhere between 4 to 60 hours with them in real time and what that means for a narrative. So, Aaron, what about you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at AAVoigt, Tumblr at Monster Factory Fanfic, and youtube.com/@AAVoigt, where I write about tabletop games and maybe someday video games. I want to write about Titanium Corp, but I just haven't been able to find a time as of late. But maybe one day. Our theme song is Obsolete by Keshko from the album Filmmakers Reference Kit Volume 2. You can find more of their music at keshko.bandcamp.com. Leyla, how shall we say goodbye to Summer Game Fest 2026?
Have a great summer.
Have a great summer. We'll see you all next year. And here's one more thing.